Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SockWeb Studios. Visit online at sockwebstudios.com for all your needs, and brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-winning author Mia Moses the Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who is a U.S.-born entrepreneur and co-founded Titan Global Oil Services in '03. He also had an extended career in the financial industry. He served as executive officer and treasurer of a publicly held financial institution, and also co-founded Capital Management. He's also a founder of a brand new product, which is the only supplement patent for treatment of a neurogenetic disease. And he's on a mission to save people from loss of a loved one to Alzheimer's, and similar to one of his loved one as well, too. I'll talk about this up and coming company as well, too, and how he can help people. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Detroit. He's a U.S.-born entrepreneur, co-founded Titan Global Oil Services. He's been successful in the financial industry and also co-founded Capital. And he's also the founder and president and CEO of Memory Health, devoted to basically just curb Alzheimer's. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, the multi-talented Edward Shehab. Edward, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Mike, thank you for having me. Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you very much. And may 2023 be a blessing to you guys. So basically, you're a U.S.-born entrepreneur and you co-founded Titan Global Oil Services in '03. You've had an extended career in the financial industry. You serve as executive officer and treasurer of a publicly held financial institution. You also co-founded Capital Management, and you're also founder of Memory Health, as the only supplement patent for treatment of neurodegenerative disease, which is Alzheimer's. And you're on a mission to save families from loss of a loved one to Alzheimer's, which is similar to your mother as well, too. And before we talk about that and Memory Health, tell us how you first got started.
Well, it's an interesting road we all walk, right? One of my favorite poems is a poem by Frost, "The Road Not Taken," and it's always very interesting when we start out in our careers. We think that road's going to carry us one way, and we end up going a different way. And as you mentioned, I cut my teeth in the financial industry. I started out as on a trading desk, trading mortgage-backed securities. One opportunity led to another. I found myself getting involved in the bank industry and rose up to the ranks to become treasurer. Basically had really all the income producing side of the bank reporting to me, and became an executive officer. We subsequently sold the bank and wanted to really become an entrepreneur. And what was interesting about that, my brother-in-law, who was a world-renowned expert in fracturing in the oil industry, came to me after we sold the bank and he said, "Eddie, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?" And I said, "Well, Giff, I don't know for sure. I'm going to go to Hawaii for a few months and figure it out." And he said to me, well, when you come back, I've got an idea. And Mike, the cool thing about that is, when I was in the corporate world, I always wanted to be the entrepreneur. Many of the more successful clients of the bank had started building their own industries. And I said, gee whiz, I want to do that one day. I did not know how difficult that would actually be, right? I thought it would all be, I'd done this at the career level at the corporate world. I could do it again as an entrepreneur. And it's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of sleepless nights. But from that conversation and a napkin, it's one of those classic stories. We drew out the business and we were able to build a fairly successful oil company supporting the majors in their drilling efforts all around the world. So we count as our clients British Petroleum, Aramco, KOC. We've worked all around the world. When they're overhaul and drilling, you'll find my company there. And it was built with my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, and myself, and we kind of just took it. And I like to say it was an overnight success that took 13 years.
13 years. That is so amazing. And do you think entrepreneurs can do it that long, shorter, longer? I guess it depends on the person, but 13 years, that is amazing. Big congratulations and kudos to you guys as well. 13 years, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's, I don't think anybody realizes how long it does take. I've been asked to speak at entrepreneurial meetings and been interviewed for that and talked about it. And a lot of people see that, they see who I am today and what my life today, and they think, well, that's how it's going to be for them. And they don't really understand. A dear friend of mine said, "Eddie, everybody sees the bloom, nobody sees the roots." And it really is a lot of hard work, a lot of long days, long nights. no paydays. You're paying everybody that works for you. You're really not making much money, and you're really trying to build the company. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't succeed as entrepreneurs. Part of it is the stamina and the staying power. It's needed to do that. And it's it is a road that is difficult to walk, but the rewards, if you're able to walk it and become successful, it just, they're life-changing events. And clearly for me, it really helped me in that regard. I mean, it's availed me to do other things, including the acquisition of this other company that we're going to talk about, which really is more of a passion for me. I often like to say, look, the oil company, my private equity company, has provided me the abilities now to look at passion projects to try and help. And in this case, this project, this company, which is an outstanding product, it really can help a lot of people. And it's born out of my own personal issues as it relates to the situation I face with my mother. And it's just carried me into trying to help as many people as I can.
You talked about when you said that you were told that in on a poem that there's that long straight road, and we've been taught this like in schools, colleges, and everything, and 40 years straight and narrow and everything, you get to the top, but there's a lot of twists and turns and everything else, and
Yeah.
basically it's like what's the best advice you can give the people, entrepreneurs or non-entrepreneurs, or even like upper management, frontline workers, and everything, like getting discouraged about the straight road.
Well, I tell you what, if we're dealing with an entrepreneur, and let's say we have a business idea, one of the things that I really caution a lot of people to do is, you may think it's a great idea, and it truly may be a great idea, but you really need to seek some counsel, kind of throw the idea, not to say whether those people are going to tell you whether it's a good idea or bad, but rather hear what they have to say about the potential successes, what they see as the pitfalls, and really start to build an understanding of what this road might look like when you go down that road. Also understand that, you're not going to make a pot of gold overnight. That doesn't happen.
That is very true. I've talked to a lot of people about that, and they the impression that hey, you can make like $1 million in 7 days, and I tell people that is not going to happen. Like they say, if it's too good to be true, it is. I
Yeah,
tell people
that's
that.
truly not the case. I mean, you really have to understand that the road is paved with lots of heartache, tears, determination, sweat, sleepless nights. And that's the way it's going to be if your idea is a good idea, if it has an economic viability to it, and you're able to dedicate and work hard. You can't do it part-time. That's the other problem. People try and run a business. Invariably, you have to dive in, because if you don't, you won't take it very far. And so there's a lot of risk with it. And so when people, I look at it this way: when people say, "Wow, that entrepreneur, he built that company, and it's $500 million a year company. Look at all the money he's making." Well, again, they see the bloom, but there's a lot of days and nights and stress that goes into building companies, and finance. You'll go through a lot of money, and so that's the other thing. You can't start companies without a war chest, and if you're trying to do it without a war chest, it's really, really difficult. So you have to have a good war chest, because you're going to go through that money. I will guarantee you will go through more money than you ever thought possible. It's like building a home or remodeling a home. You have a budget, and you'll go through that budget. People say you, and you don't believe them, but you will. Well, take it to the nth degree when you start building companies.
I've seen some bills, homes being built throughout the U.S., especially we live up in North Dakota. You're seeing homes that go up left and right, but people don't realize that it takes a lot of research, like with the land, where the utilities are going to be, the potentials, and of course the surveying, the legalities, and of course trying to find a good builder and get good building materials and everything like that. And I've seen some good homes built on a budget, and I've seen large homes that just fell apart like crazy. So planning has been like the big key. And of course, you talked about with some of the products and everything else, what works and what doesn't. Of course, a big question is that the fact that, what are like the benchmarks of like, is this going to succeed, like a product, service, and everything like that, demand and everything. And, it's not just based on gut feeling. There's like, a huge list of what criteria has to be met.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you had a great point, Mike. That's what I said. You really got to kind of build a roadmap, you have an idea, but is it really economically viable? What do I mean by that? Well, is it something that really is going to service a need? Is there a market that you're trying to enter because you can do something better, or you have a product that could revolutionize the marketplace? Or are you simply trying to create a market? That's a much different ball game, and that's an extremely difficult way to go. So there's a lot that really goes into it, and but the thing that you have to have beyond everything is a thick skin, determination, and a willingness to say, I can break through that wall. And if I can break through that wall, I can get to the next wall and the next hurdle and the next hurdle. And that's what you have to do. It's easier said than done. And a lot of people will tell you you can't succeed. That's the other thing. That's why you need the thick skin. I'm assuming we have this viable economic plan, this product. You can take the ball and run with it. And then you get other people excited about the product and get other people excited about it, and you can carry it forward.
And certainly does as well too. And with your company, Memory Health, there's like a real story and a driving need behind it. And of course, one of the things I also was going to mention too about with the product, it's like, also filling a need as well too. That's one of the more common ones. And I remember watching a movie with my kids, Robots, where the simplest phrase was, see a need, fill a need. And of course, you're here to fill a need with Memory Health. We'll talk about that with Edward Shehab. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even 11 endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and Mills. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, iTunes, as well as the YouTube channel and BitChute, Rumble, and on Hamilton Radio every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, phone cases, hoodies, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a U.S.-born entrepreneur and the founder of Memory Health, Edward Shehab, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And it's basically you founded the company as the only supplement to patent for treatment of neurodegenerative disease. And this was on a mission. You're on a mission to save families from this. And this is all based on one of your family members. You can just tell us a story about that and how you got started on Memory Health. So when it comes to Memory Health, take it away.
Well, Mike, thanks. As you mentioned, it is a passion. It's a mission of mine. I was having lunch with my mother one day, and we had seen some slippage, as far as her recall and getting some sort of confusion some days as to where she would, what was going on. And we were having this great lunch. Actually, it was the most surreal moment. And she was smiling and we were laughing, but it became very apparent to me that she was treating me like a guest in her house, not as her son. And then it further became evident my mother had no idea who I was. And it was just a stunning blow to me that this person who had brought me into the world had, been my rock and my champion and supported me in my highs and supported me in my lows suddenly had no idea who I was. And I left that lunch and said to myself, I can fix this. I have to fix this. And that maybe is part of the naivety of an entrepreneur. You think you can make it happen. And that's really part of it. You never want to have the seed in your back of your mind that you can't get it done, because you will fail. So the thought process is, look, I can make this happen. And I delved into all the research, and I was taking a look at what had happened. And what I came to find out is pharma had really failed in this idea of brain health and fighting dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Most of the products that they had brought out simply never took a look at the root cause, but tried to treat symptoms, and it really been failure. So one thing led to another, and a friend of mine who has a company in the macular degeneration space said to me, Eddie, there's this product coming forward. It's 20 years in the research. You need to take a look at this. It's been designed to fight dementia and Alzheimer's, and they've had huge success in their testing. And we have just gone through a clinical trial with published results. You want to take a look at this. So I delved into it. I was very impressed with the science behind it. And I really thought this could be something to help people. And one thing led to another. And I said to my friend who was part owner of this company, I said, look, Frederick, if you ever his name is Frederick Jouet. If you ever need to monetize the company, if you need some support financially in this company and bringing the product forward, let me know. I think the world of it. And that day came, and he asked me to, get involved in the company. I did. I bought part of the company, and I really felt the oil business was pretty successful. It was at a spot, and I really thought I could help build this awareness as it relates to this great product. Like the studies that I'm talking about, the first study was done on Alzheimer's patients, early onset Alzheimer's patients, where the product Memory Health was given to this is a randomized controlled study where we had a control group and a placebo group given to the control group over a period of 16 months. And what they found is not only increases in mood, and I'll get to that in a moment, memory and cognitive function, but in half of the control group, a forestalling of the ongoing effects of the disease, which, as we know, in Alzheimer's and dementia can be very rapid. And it was heralded as just a glimmer of hope for Alzheimer's patients, and it was written up in the Journal of Alzheimer's Medicine as a glimmer of hope for Alzheimer's patients. And from that, we started to build this product in this company, and now we've gone through 4 clinical trials, randomized, double-blind, published clinical results on demented brains, Alzheimer's and dementia, all the way to healthy brains, and across the board, showing increases in mood, memory, cognitive function. And in those people with disease, a slowdown of the disease. The other thing that I want to point out is these clinical trials were all publicly funded, looking at the role of nutrition, because that's what this product is, in fighting brain disease. And so we didn't pay for it. We were selected to be part of the study, which really speaks to the quality of the science behind the product.
You talked about the nutritional aspect of when it comes to memory health and everything. What are some of the nutrients that are involved that can, curb the Alzheimer's, and how is it different from the other?
Yeah, it's a great question, and this is all stuff. It's kind of like when I got into the oil industry. I knew the oil from a commodity. I traded it, but actually to get involved and be involved in the industry is fascinating. This is the same thing here. So memory health is made up of carotenoids, and I'll explain those in a moment, and omega, EPA, and DHA. What's interesting about those nutrients that I just mentioned, they're all found in your brain. And in fact, omega is the largest mass structure of the brain, which we may be surprised to hear. EPA and DHA are 2 forms of omega that are found in your brain. Carotenoids are in your brain. And people are like, well, what's a carotenoid? Carotenoid is very interesting. It is the nutrient substance that, for example, plants have, like spinach and peppers, that provide nourishment to the plant, provide the color to the plant. Well, lo and behold, we have carotenoids in our body. They're in our eyes, and they're in our skin, and in our brain. And in our brain, they are nourishment centers for the brain. So the whole idea is feeding the brain with the proper nourishment to keep it healthy and active and vibrant. What we saw in autopsy reports from people with diseased brains is that their brains shrank in size and were dark in color. Part
Ooh.
of that was that they were not getting the proper nutrition to stimulate the brain. And what memory health is it's that nutrition. See, Mike, you can go out, you can eat carotenoids in nature. You can eat spinach, you can eat ocean trout, you can eat eggs. The problem is you can't eat enough any longer to provide the necessary nutrients. So though I agree with that healthy diet of vegetables and all sorts of great healthy things to eat, I do not agree with, and nor do we see, we cannot get enough out of it anymore. And part of the problem is the nutrient value of the product that we're eating has decreased over the years. We point to a FDA study, a bowl of spinach in 1953, you would be required to eat 40 bowls today to get the same nutrient value.
Boy,
So
even Popeye can't even keep it up these days.
that's right. That's right. Nobody likes spinach that much, not even so,
unless Bluto's coming after you trying to keep
maybe,
olive oil.
maybe so. What a supplement does is a supplement supports what we're being deficient in. And so that's the key here. How does the supplement work? And that's what it does. It provides the nutrition to the carotenoid centers and in the with carotenoids and the omega centers with omega to get through the blood-brain barrier, get to the brain and feed the brain. And that's how we have seen all the success that we have had with this product.
Also thought about the omega-3s as well, too, that you have a certain amount of fish. Now, how much fish do you have to eat in order to get that omega-3s? And of course, also trying to deal with the polluted fish situation too, with what's been going on with the waters and everything else. That's also another factor.
There's a lot to consider. One of the things that we're very proud of is our product. All of our omega is sourced from the North Sea. We use small fish, deep cold waters. Nothing's farm raised. All of our carotenoids are come from marigolds, which are organically farmed, and it's all created here in the United States. The product's American made. It's distributed here in the United States. Very important to us. Our distribution facilities, products made in California. We distribute out of Arizona, and we're headquartered in Michigan. So it's an all-American company. But the thing that I really want to stress is carotenoids and omega in this component is extremely viable tool to feed the brain, support the brain, create brain health, and that's so important. One of the other aspects of what we're doing, which is very important to understand, is we know the product gets to the brain, and we say the product gets to the brain. And people say, well, how can you prove that? Mike, one of the most fascinating things that I learned as part of this process was that the macular tissue in the eye is brain tissue. We don't think of it that way, but we think that the eye is a certain, but it's really the pathway in which we see how everything's communicated up to the brain is through the macula. Well, the great thing is we could test the serum levels of carotenoids and omega prior to the studies being started. And then as the individuals went forward, we were able to measure the serum levels of carotenoid and omega in the macular tissue to see that the product was actually getting through to the brain because it was feeding the brain tissue. And lo and behold, what we saw, which was fascinating in these studies, and they took place between 14 and 16 months, the level of the serum increased like you were filling your gas tank. It was a level, it wasn't spiked. And so the body was getting filled up, the brain was getting filled up with the carotenoids, the brain was using the carotenoids, and it kept moving forward. When the studies concluded, they continued to test the serum levels, and what they found there is it was going down. And the reason why it was going down, supplementation had stopped, and the brain had used the food that had been given, the nourishment that had been given, and as a result, what we learned is this is a lifelong journey. We have to continue to feed our brain. I often say we take a bunch of stuff from our neck on down, right? We take We take aspirin, we take omega for our bodies, we take all sorts of different zinc, everything for our body on down, but we don't take a lot for our brains. And
Mhm.
this is a product that goes to the brain,
And,
which,
it's also good for keep up with the memory health as well too. And also there's also concerns too that it's also talking about organic, and some people are concerned about if it's gluten-free, non-GMO, and for those on ketos and certain diets, and would that be suitable for that too?
yeah, certainly in most cases it is. We I will say this to you, and you'll find this fascinating. Look, we've had pregnant women taking this product to nourish the brains of their unborn babies, which
How do
I
you
think is
like that? It's amazing. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and they do that because we know that the body, the great thing about the body and carotenoids and omega, it's always taken to where it's needed. And the great thing about it, because this product is all natural, if you do not need it, you pass it, which is great. But we've had so if you look at our spectrum, we have fed the brains of the unborn to those fighting dementia in their elder years. And unfortunately, what we're seeing with dementia and Alzheimer's, it's striking earlier and earlier down the youth chain. That's for a lot of reasons, right? The stress that's involved in our lives, the lack of proper diet, what we're doing, what we're constantly being battled with, head injuries as a result of the sports that we play. So
Oh my
that's
gosh, there's too many of them. My goodness, I just shake my head every time I hear somebody go out with a concussion protocol. And of course, the teams we follow in the 80s and 90s, it's like, the star players, die of head injuries, and long term, it's like, it's getting more evident of it too. So
well, as I said to you, this is a passion project for me. I want to help. I want you to take the product because I can feed your brain today to stave off disease tomorrow. That's really important. I want to help those people who are in the early throes of Alzheimer's and dementia because I know I can make a difference in their life. I can slow the progression of the disease. I can improve cognition, mood, memory, which is so helpful. The other side of it is I want to help those people that have suffered head injury. All right. A long time ago, I was an athlete. I don't claim to be one now, but
who is these days?
I, I played a college sport. I was concussed numerous times. My son, who is a very good athlete, has been concussed and he's playing football for a very prominent football team here in the state of Michigan. I want to protect his brain. He takes memory health. He suffered a concussion last year in a basketball game for his school. And I believe memory health certainly made a difference in his recovery because he was taking it prior and it really kind of helped feed. When you think about what happens with a concussion, it's a bruise to the brain essentially. One of the ways that anytime a bruise heals is because you're getting blood flow into that area, nutrient into that area. Memory health is doing that. We have had no clinical studies on that. We're actually involved in one now, but intuitively, I know it made a difference. And I know it does because I know that concussion leads to CTE, which is a form of dementia. I know I've been successful in clinical trials against dementia, so I can fight this early on as well. So
That's
you can
certainly
see it is a
that's
passion project.
that's certainly amazing. And where can we find the product, and how can we purchase or get more information about memory health?
Yeah, certainly. We welcome everybody to come to the website. It's memoryhealth.com. You can buy directly off the website. If you're more comfortable shopping on Amazon, you can find it on Amazon. We have doctors who refer our product in their offices, and we're in some high-end boutique, and that's very important for me. I don't want to be on a shelf next to a lot of junk brain product because unfortunately there's a lot of terrible product out there. So
Mhm.
we try and really position the product almost as a standalone product for the brain health memory care products. So some of the higher end boutique pharmacies, Amazon, the website memoryhealth.com, or perhaps one of your local neurologists or longevity docs might have it.
We will certainly do so as well too. What's coming up for Edward Shehab of Memory Health? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com, and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Zia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the founder of Memory Health, Edward Shehab, after this time out. We're back with the founder of Memory Health, Edward Shehab, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a great story and great testament about about memory health and everything and what it does. And what can we expect from you in 2023 and beyond, Edward?
Well, I think there's a couple of great things on the horizon. We're continuing to expand the footprint where you're going to see memory health. We are doing national commercials now. We really want to set the product above all other products. We've had our fourth clinical trial published. This one was on healthy brain, showing increases in mood, memory, and cognitive function for those people who claim that are healthy in brain. So what we've done is now gone the gamut. I told you we're involved in a CTE study. Hopefully, that's an ongoing process. We hope that that'll be concluded within the next year. Mike, I want to tell you, we have a supplement that has been patented for the prevention and treatment of neurodegenerative disease. That is unheard of for a supplement. And the reason why we were able to get that patent in the United States is our science is real. There are clinical case trials on our product, and the patent office granted us, based on our science, this patent. I don't know of any other supplement that has ever been patented like that. People talk about patents, but it's usually their formula. Our formula is patented, but the utility, the use of the patent, the use of the product is now patented here in the United States. We are granted a patent in the UK for the same thing, and then most recently in Ireland. So we're very excited about that. It continues to separate. This is a real product. It's not a commercial. There are a lot of junk products out there, and we want to continue to elevate ourselves over that.
We certainly do. So you guys are doing a great job of it. I'm ready to pick some up myself here. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Wow, that's a great question. My father was always a very huge influence in me. I wanted to be my dad. My dad unfortunately died young. My mother was always a steadying influence in me. I've been fortunate to have some good mentorship. And Mike, that's another thing that's very important, especially going up in the corporate world. I always looked to mentor people along. Even now in my own companies, I do that. Mentorship is very important. You can help be a guiding light for somebody, to give them an example to look at how you can move forward. And so I'd say it's a combination of family, friends, and great mentors in the business field along the way.
That's certainly very important as well, too. That's truly amazing. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I think you got to be grounded. I think you need to understand that we are on a journey. Some days the journey is going to be difficult. Some days it's going to be fabulous. As an entrepreneur, your highs are way beyond what you'd experience, and as the lows can be very tough. So you got to be prepared for that. Be grounded. Have faith. Have a faith. Believe. That's very important. Love this country. It's the greatest country the world has ever known, and hopefully we'll keep it that way. And so there's a lot of opportunity here in this country, and it's also good to be in a position like I am now that I can give back and help and make a difference in people's lives. And I think that's, if you can strive to do that in everything you do, that's a great thing.
And certainly a great thing indeed as well, too. And of course, very amazing product you have. We're here with Edward Shehab, the founder of Memory Health, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Edward, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back and give us some updates on Memory Health. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? And what can people purchase or check out Memory Health?
Yes, the easiest place to do it is the website's memoryhealth.com. Pretty easy to remember. Again, you'll find it also on Amazon under Memory Health. And go right to the website. You'll be educated on the product. You'll see all the clinical trials. Very important. The science is based on our product, not a reference made to some science on somebody else's product. It's our product. The clinical reviews are there. It's very important. The patents are there. You'll see it all. And really take the product. I can't stress it enough. Today is the first day of a lifelong journey to better brain health. Let's stave off the ravages of what could be out there for as long as possible, and let's live a good life as a result of that. And Mike, I want to thank you for this opportunity. It's been great being with you. I wish you a blessed Christmas and a great New Year.
And you as well, too, Edward. Again, a very big thank you for your time. Edward, you've been totally amazing. Looking forward to him soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. Wish you all best. And definitely a great future ahead of you in 2023.